the Powerful Floral Remedies for Modern Lifestyles. Now this is my coloring book that I use as a sample, and many of these pictures are already colored, but we are going to go through all the flowers in here throughout the month of October. I believe the secret to de-stressing is activating the right side of your brain. And when you have that right brain activated, the left brain releases its grip on you and allows you to ease and relax a little bit more. Coloring lets you have a break from all the left brain thinking and helps you to activate that sense of pleasure. It's a form of detachment from work, but also something comforting we recognize that we used to love as children. So often when we are stressed out, a little part in the brain, the amygdala, gets activated, and that floods the system with stress and is responsible for fear. In the coloring process, you are activating the frontal lobe of your brain, which gives your brain something new to do, a different type of problem to solve. And when we have to make those color choices, which one to put where and how to do that next, we also relieve some of the burdens that we've been thinking about the whole day. And while your brain is focusing on something prettier and something you're creating that's coming to life, your whole system resets into a positive frame of mind where your brain understands that you are indeed capable. Now, there is a difference between children's coloring books and the book I am presenting to you today. And the bigger difference is the fact that I talk about each of the flowers on the left-hand side and give you some insights on how those plant energies can assist you in either overcoming something, to emotionally purify yourself, to allow your dreams to come true, or anything related to that energetic shift from where you were into a new state of mind. Now, this type of detailed drawings in the adult style coloring books are perfect when you need to refocus your attention on something tiny and bring that color element into play where your brain recognizes something different than what you've been doing the whole day long. Now, at no point do I want you to get perfectionistic or overly focused. I really want you to relax and ease and be messy and creative and use the colors to your advantage. So you'll probably use some water-soluble coloring pencils. You might have watercolors available that you could use. And my preferred method for dissolving the pans and the coloring pencils, the water-soluble coloring pencils, is by using a water brush. So the water brush easily melts those layers of pigment that you put down. And I want to show you something really interesting. Not all coloring pencils are water-soluble. So this one is water-soluble. Let's get the camera to focus. Well, it has a little brush there. And when it has that brush, it means it's water soluble. It would also say on the packaging that it is water soluble. Now I do have a really big set here, and that is the Derwent Inktense. But of this, I have selected 10 colors I'm going to use that I've mentioned throughout the book that I'm pretty sure we'll be able to capture and create on these pages. Now your watercolor sets can be any colors you prefer, and another medium you might enjoy is water-soluble crayons, like these ones. So these do leave a little bit of a waxy residue, and they're not that easily layerable, whereas the Derwent Inktense pencils layer pretty easily. These are leftovers from my children's coloring pencils. Now I always buy them water-soluble pencils because that lays down so much more pigment, and when you put the water on, it's like a little piece of magic happening on your page as that pigment dissolves and spreads onto paper. The other set I've got here is Creator Colors Studio line. Now I bought that in South Africa, and this one is the Derwent Inktense, is available anywhere or on their website, and it's also available as open stock, so you don't have to buy a big 36-piece set or a 72-piece set. You can buy them individually. And yes, I've shown these colors on the Facebook group, and you can go and have a look there and find the video. And in this pencil bag I also have other coloring pencils that I might use or might not use, and it is from Mondelez. Again, the camera doesn't want to focus, but that's all right. I think it's focused on the sketchbook. Anyway, let's get into maybe a few techniques on how to lay down the color and how to dissolve it. So for this introduction, let's just continue on with this page that I started in the September virtual gratitude retreat. Now what we're aiming for is to have a practice, and it's called a practice for a reason, because we're not after perfection, and we're certainly not after getting to a specific result. What we are doing is creating, we're being playful, we're seeing how things lay down, and we're also experimenting. And that is the place where I want to give you permission to play and experiment to your heart's content. So I'm going to pull out two colors here, and one of them is a blue and the other a violet, just to show you in this little section here, or even on the side, how you can play along with these two colors, especially because they're water soluble. And you'll see that I'm not coloring in really particularly neatly. I'm merely laying down the colors and creating a layer of pigment there. So just gently going around some of those leaves and into the corners. So this one is the blue. The specific color is lagoon blue, and I'll do that up until halfway, and you can really see it's messy. Let's zoom in for you to have a closer look. Right here, I'm going to go a little rougher with the coloring because it's water soluble, and adding that second color, which is more of a violet, on the left hand side. And I'm making my lines really scruffy and loose because I don't want to get too much in the left brain and be held up with perfectionism. And that's also what I want you to do, is to do this for the process, not for the outcome. Of course, our outcome is for you to be relaxed and have a mindful moment to yourself. But please don't color in a way that feels like you are being restricted. Now you can take that watercolor brush or the water brush and dissolve those watercolors. You'll see that the vibrancy of the colors just burst out as soon as the water hits them. And you can let these layers dry until you are able to add a second or a third layer to build it up, of course. As I zoom back out, you can see that the left-hand side is a little bit of a violety color and the right-hand side is blue. But you can color yours in any way you like. All I'm demonstrating here today is that you need to let go and be happy with the end result, no matter how loosely or tightly you prefer to color in. It is much more important that you get to color in than how you color in. Now the paper isn't watercolor paper, but the type of paper I selected for this coloring book reacts really well to a little bit of water or wet medium like ink. Now you may have seen that I am restricting the use of too many colors, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want to overthink getting the next color down. So select a few colors, select all of your colors, do whatever you need to do to get to your coloring book or to your page or to that drawing practice or whichever thing you decided to do for yourself during this month of October, where we are going to take care of our own mental health through a creative coloring practice like this one. All right, I'm going to select another color and start coloring in the blooms. Oops, not blue. I rather prefer this pink. Just a little bit of rough coloring near the center. And the reason for that is when it dissolves, I want some of that lighter version melting into the white parts of each petal, giving me a little bit of color play in each of those little blossoms. Now you'll see that I'm coloring some parts darker and others just a little bit of color, and whichever way you are going to do it is your own personal preference, and that would be 100% perfect. What I would recommend is that you switch between the water brush and the watercolor soluble pencils as you go along, or if you're only using color pencils, to switch between colors throughout the whole coloring process so that you have some color everywhere on your little coloring area and that you have that playful nature that boils into your creative play. For now, I'm going to move all the water-soluble pencils away and do a little demo with only the regular coloring pencils. So the 6 colors I selected here is a dark green, we have a dark blue, a teal, a pink, a yellow, and like a cerise reddish pink. And just to keep it simple, Just choose the 6 colors you want. I selected these ones because they will fit in with the color I've already used on the right hand side. And for now, I'm going to use a regular black ballpoint pen to draw more of these apple blossoms. We start in the middle with a rough center and surround that with 5 petals. Now cascade that around the circle in the middle and don't make them perfect. Then draw the little round polyps of pollen and stamen in the middle. You can also draw some of those broken blossoms that don't have petals anymore, but that are ready to start growing into fruit. And they are pretty much the same as the previous steps when we did the blossoms. You can add a couple of stems and then draw a couple of leaves. Draw another large leaf. Now these coloring pencils are from Faber-Castell. That one is phthalo blue, cadmium yellow, middle purple pink, deep cobalt green, pink madder lake, and then cobalt green. And you know what? It's only artists that would really want to know the exact names of these colors. And that's why in the beginning I just mentioned them briefly without being too precise on the exact color names. It's supposed to be easy and effortless, remember? Now regular coloring in is going to mean that we need a softer touch and a more delicate approach to lay down some of that color and add layers and layers of thin pigment to build up until we have a blossom that resembles that similar look to the other ones I've created. We're going to do the exact same with the second petal and create the layers as we build and build the color closer to the center. We're using a nice delicate soft grip and just laying down the color ever so gently. You'll see that I change direction when I bring in the second and third layers of each of the colors. That helps you to create a little bit dense or more density in each of those pigments. Now, I'm by no means a coloring expert. I just enjoy it for the sake of having some time to relax and unwind without overthinking the coloring process. You could even use little circular movements or soft strokes back and forth. You can use any technique you like when you're coloring in your pages. And every layer will give you a deeper, more intense color version than the previous layer. This is what mindfulness and relaxation should feel like: effortless, easy, and comfortable. Now, this entire process really brings me a whole lot of joy, and that's exactly what I want for you. It's the perfect time to relax and just be with yourself. The secret here is to disconnect from everything else that's calling your name and really honing in your attention on this creative process. Much like when we were children, using and opening up our imaginations. And all of this is for pure relaxation. Nobody's going to look at it unless you want to share it. And we'd really appreciate it if you participated with everybody else in the Sketchbook Journal group to show how you've taken this month as a mindful break from life and taken care of your own mental wellness through a creative coloring or drawing practice of your own. We love to see what you create and for you to meet new friends as well. I've left all the links that you'll ever need to connect to the group, to get the downloadable pages, to get the prompts list, and to find more about what I have to offer in the description below or in my bio. It is my wish that you enjoy the entire Floraltober and be present, be connected, be creative, be vibrant and bold with your color use, and just express those hidden feelings and open up your imagination. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go and play in your book and draw more flowers. Create in your sketchbook pages as much as you like, and remember that the apple blossoms are there to help you. Now, it's so important to have a connection to nature. Nature is always available and has so many healing properties, especially in the flower in the flower realms or the floral realms. their remedial treatments spans far beyond our comprehension, and the beginner guide is a short color adventure that will open up doors to your healing journey. And throughout the month, I'll be reading every corresponding piece of text for every flower we color in, thereby giving you some guidance along the way and encouraging you to show up tomorrow to your coloring page and to follow along. Now, I have no idea why I chose the apple blossoms page to do this in today for day one, but the text on the left-hand side of the apple blossoms says, "The healing elements of apple blossoms are a wonderfully gentle emotional purifier. It helps to restore the deepest emotional well-being of your thoughts by helping to curb bad habits and past negative feelings of hurt. Apple blossoms and the essence opens the heart to allow your dreams and aspirations to come forth while extending into a radiance of childlike joy. A spring blossom tree with 5-petaled flowers in shades ranging from white to pink, with a delicate fragrance and an abundance of nectar for pollinators. It helps with personal growth and allows for good fruit." All right, that's it from me for today. I'll see you in tomorrow's Floral Tober.